Welcome back. Anthony Albanese and Labor are leading in 3 recent national polls ahead of tonight's Sky News People's Forum. Joining me live is Liberal National MP and former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Andrew Wallace. Andrew, thanks for joining us on the show. Appreciate your time. The LNP has taken a bit of a slide in the polls recently and in the betting markets as well, if you've been paying attention to that. Are you getting any feedback from your electorate on the Sunshine Coast as to why that is?
Well, Kenny, great to join you from magnificent Maleny Dairies here. I've just been here with Jane Hume, give them a shameless plug, best milk in the country. Look, what people are telling me is that they are really struggling. They're struggling from a cost of living perspective, and here on the Sunshine Coast, we're struggling from an infrastructure and a transport perspective. The Sunshine Coast is the #1 destination for people to move here from within Australia. And we're drowning. We need more money spent on infrastructure, and over the last 3 years we've had money cut by Labor on roads, and it's just been, we are absolutely drowning in traffic here. We need help.
Were people on the Sunshine Coast telling you at all the work from home issue and flexible work arrangements was something that they were worried about, despite it being a Canberra issue?
Well, it was very much based on Canberra, and despite the lies of the Labor Party trying to conflate it and bring it into the private sector, it was never an issue for the private sector. It was only in relation to public servants and only in relation to Canberra. But I mean, anyway, that's dead as a doornail now. Let's move on.
Just on the latest from the campaign trail today, has Labor now trumped the coalition on mental health now with its $1 billion commitment?
I don't believe so for a second, because I can tell you now, I've been involved intimately in relation to mental health and the care of people with mental health problems, and this government does not get mental health. Mark Butler, the health minister, does not care, or really, he doesn't care about mental health. You know, this is the guy that halved the number of psychologist visits from the 20 that we had. The first job he did when he came into power is he ripped the guts out of mental health, and really the Labor Party didn't even mention, Jim Chalmers didn't even mention mental health in his budget speech. So this is an afterthought. This is something that clearly the mental health sector have gone to Labor and said, hey, what about us? You didn't even talk about us in the budget, and it's an afterthought. They really don't get mental health. The coalition has been absolutely leading from opposition, I should say, on mental health, and we were terrific on this going right back to when we were in government, when Greg Hunt was the health minister and now Anne Ruston is the shadow. You know, the Sunshine Coast was the first place to get funding for a residential eating disorder facility, the first place to get funding for PTSD research here on the Sunshine Coast. We are, from opposition, leading the way on mental health. This government, Labor government, does not get mental health, period.
Andrew, we have crucial election viewing tonight on Sky News. How do you expect Peter Dutton would be preparing for the Sky News People Forum from Western Sydney tonight?
Well, I've got no doubt that Peter and the Prime Minister, for that matter, is bunkering down this afternoon, doing lots of prep, doing lots of questions and answers, amongst their staff. But look, Peter will have an opportunity to show Australians his character. Peter's got an awesome, wicked sense of humour, and he's a straight shooter. This is a guy who has dedicated his life to the protection of women and children when he was a police officer, and for much of the time he's been a federal MP. He's held incredibly important roles as the Home Affairs Minister, Immigration Minister, Defence Minister, and now Opposition Leader. This debate will give people an opportunity to see Peter Dutton at his best. He's a strong leader as opposed to the weak Prime Minister that we've had for the last 3 years. But what they will see is a man that's strong, but he's got a heart of gold.
Just finally, we've got 30 seconds to go, but I thought I'd slip one more in. Today, Anthony Albanese refused to rule out a recession for Australia, despite Jim Chalmers talking down the prospect of a recession. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, I listened to what the Prime Minister said earlier, and that is he claimed that under his leadership, the Australian economy had been growing and growing. Well, that's just absolute rubbish. I mean, we have now got 7 quarters of consecutive negative growth for households. That's a recession for households. That's a recession for mums and dads. The only reason the entire economy hasn't slipped into a recession is because of this Prime Minister having brought more than 1 million people into the country in the middle of a housing crisis. So it's a conflated way of trying to pump up the economy, but mums and dads know that every time they go to the supermarket, every time they get their power bill, that they cannot make ends meet, and they can't make ends meet because of a treasurer that is out of his depth. He's a student, he's the apprentice of Wayne Swan, as opposed to the terrific financial leadership that people know that we have pedigree for. And under Angus Taylor, who is a terrific economist that's worked in business all his life, in times that are uncertain, that we are living through right now as a result of these tariff trumps, we need a steady hand at the tiller, and only a Liberal National Party government can provide that steady hand.
Andrew Wallace, great to talk to you this afternoon. Appreciate it. Have a great afternoon.
Good on you. Thanks, Kenny.